Have you ever wondered how one of humanity's oldest pleasures, wine, was actually discovered? What if I told you it wasn't planned? It wasn't a brilliant invention by some ancient genius. It was a happy accident, a beautiful mistake that changed the course of human culture forever. Stick around, because the story you're about to hear involves ancient civilizations, mysterious natural processes, and maybe even a drunk goat or two. Picture this. It's around 6000 BC. You're in the South Caucasus region, what we now know as modern-day Georgia. Humanity is just getting the hang of farming. People have figured out how to make pottery, a game changer for storing food and liquids. And all around, wild grapes grow in abundance, climbing up trees and sprawling across the hillsides. Now imagine a person from this early settlement. They're out gathering food, and they pick a bunch of these wild, juicy grapes. They toss them into a newly made clay jar, maybe planning to eat them later. But life gets busy. The jar gets pushed to the back of the hut, out of sight, and is completely forgotten. Days pass, then weeks. Inside that sealed clay pot, something incredible begins to happen. The grapes at the bottom are crushed under the weight of the ones on top, releasing their sugary juice. Wild yeast, floating invisibly in the air and living on the grape skins, gets to work. It starts feasting on the sugars in the juice. As it does, the juice starts to bubble and fizz. This is fermentation, a natural process that was a complete mystery to our ancestors. To them, it would have looked like the juice was magically coming to life. They had no concept of yeast or alcohol. They just knew that the sweet grape juice had transformed into something entirely different, something potent, strange, and intoxicatingly aromatic. Now comes the moment of truth. Someone, maybe the same person who forgot the jar, or perhaps a curious neighbor, stumbles upon it. They cautiously open the lid, and a pungent, fruity, and slightly sour smell wafts out. Instead of seeing fresh grapes, they find a murky, bubbling liquid. Most people would probably think it had gone bad and toss it out, but someone, driven by curiosity or perhaps just a bit of daring, decides to take a sip. And in that single moment, history changes forever. That sour, fizzy liquid? It now contains alcohol. The effect is immediate. A warmth spreads through the body. The mind relaxes, worries seem to melt away. This wasn't just another food source. It was something that altered consciousness, eased social interactions, and made people feel good. Suddenly, life wasn't just about surviving. It was about celebrating. This accidental discovery wasn't just a new kind of drink. It was seen as magic, a gift from the earth itself. What started as a simple mistake quickly became a deliberate act, a ritual. People started recreating the process, leaving grapes in jars on purpose, eager to experience that magical transformation again and again. And here's the best part. We're not just making this up. This isn't just a fun story. It's backed by hard science. Archaeologists digging in Georgia have unearthed ancient clay jars, known as kvevri, with chemical residues inside. When they analyzed these residues, they found traces of tartaric acid, a compound that is a key fingerprint of grape fermentation. And these jars? They date back 8,000 years. This is the oldest chemical evidence of winemaking in the world. But the story doesn't stop there. Over in Iran, at an archaeological site called Haji Firuz Tepe, scientists found a 7,000-year-old jar that once held about 9 liters of wine. It was discovered in the kitchen of a Neolithic mud brick home, suggesting wine was already a part of domestic life by 5000 BC. And then there's the incredible discovery in Armenia, deep inside a cave system called Irene 1. Here, archaeologists found what is believed to be the world's oldest, complete winery. It had a shallow basin for stomping grapes, fermentation vats to hold the juice, and even drinking cups made from animal horns. All of this equipment dates back to around 4100 BC. Let that sink in for a moment. Humanity was making wine on an organized scale before we had even invented the wheel. But here's where the story gets even more interesting, with some strange theories and twists. While the accidental discovery is the most scientifically accepted theory, there are other legends. One popular old tale from Persia speaks of a king who stored grapes in a jar, where they fermented and were labeled as poison. A heartbroken member of his harem, seeking to end her suffering, drank the poison. But instead of dying, she felt relaxed, fell into a deep sleep, and woke up feeling refreshed. She told the king about this magical poison, and he was so delighted that he named her his queen and decreed that all grapes grown in his city would be used for winemaking. Another fun legend involves animals. Some believe that early humans observed goats or birds eating naturally fermented grapes that had fallen from the vine. They saw these animals acting strangely, stumbling around, acting drunk, and their curiosity led them to try the fermented fruits for themselves. So, was it truly an accident? Or was it inspired observation? Or perhaps, as many ancient cultures believed, was it divinely inspired? Wine was so important that it was often seen as a direct gift from the gods. In ancient Egypt, wine was considered the drink of the pharaohs and was offered to the gods in religious ceremonies. The god of the afterlife, Osiris, was also associated with wine. In ancient Greece, it was the sacred beverage of Dionysus, the god of wine, ecstasy, and ritual madness. And of course, in Christianity, wine holds a profoundly symbolic role, becoming the blood of Christ during the Eucharist. Think about that journey. From random grapes rotting in a forgotten jar to a central element in divine ritual. Is that just a coincidence, or was it a cosmic accident just waiting to happen? The impact of this discovery was monumental. Wine didn't just get people buzzed, it fundamentally shaped human civilization. It became a valuable commodity, driving trade routes across the ancient world. The Phoenicians, Greeks, and Romans spread viticulture, the practice of grape cultivation, all across Europe and North Africa. Entire economies were built on the production and trade of wine. It also played a crucial role in religious ceremonies, as we've seen, becoming a symbol of life, blood, and divinity across many faiths. But wine was also medicine. In a time when water sources were often contaminated and unsafe, the alcohol in wine acted as a disinfectant. For centuries, especially during the Middle Ages, wine was safer to drink than water. Physicians in ancient Greece, like Hippocrates, prescribed it for various ailments. During the Renaissance, it was recommended for everything from aiding digestion to treating depression. And today? Wine has grown into a global industry worth over $300 billion. It's a symbol of culture, sophistication, and celebration. All of that from one ancient, accidental fermentation. So the next time you pour yourself a glass of wine, take a moment to think about its incredible journey. You're not just drinking fermented grape juice, you're tasting history. You're connecting with 8,000 years of human culture, mystery, and a beautiful accident that has brought people together for millennia. Was it a simple fluke of nature, a divine plan, or just humanity's innate curiosity leading to a world-changing discovery? We may never know for sure, but one thing is certain. Some accidents are absolutely worth celebrating. Thanks for joining me on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the weird and wonderful facts that history forgot. Until next time, stay curious.